voila, we're back. Welcome back to JohnG TV. As I left off, I got trolled again by the battery. Sorry about that. But here we back. We are back with the Demora and the freeze. As I was saying, the freeze function. Basically, the freeze is like a is like a little scoop of whatever that you're working on, or whatever you have coming through at the time. And so you can freeze it at any point, and whatever time point you freeze it, it will basically catch that particular tone or that note, allowing you to do this. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that just sounds ridiculous. It really sounds like something is about to happen. But depending on what you're trying to do, you really, for me, I play around with the dry wet level. A lot of times with like drums, I want to have it coming through wet because the rhythm, it is what it is when it's wet. See, right now I can rock with that. If I mix in the dry signal, see how it throws off that timing? Because the dry signal is coming through straight, and this already has a triple up on it. So for drums, I like running it through wet. Bit raiser over here. So basically, like I was saying, the freeze, it's like a little mini scoop. So once you scoop it, it's basically repeating now. And then so from there you can go either way, and however you want to freak your performance with it. Now at this point, you got a cool whatever sound going on, and you bring back in that dry signal and see if you can make something happen. It almost sounds like it's slightly off, but actually it might be just a little too fast. See, it's the only thing about this I don't like. I'm not necessarily a fan of how it affects the pitch as well. I wish it didn't affect the pitch, but just did the actual reverb. But I'm not certain if that's maybe how all delays work. The pitch is kind of included because it's a time thing, and that time does affect the sound of it. But it would be dope if it didn't do that. So once you come all the way back to the beginning of your hold, of your freeze, as you can see now, nothing's going on. And it's pretty much, you know, like the wet is pretty much dead right now, because that hold function, you kill it once you bring it all the way back to 0 or to the left. So now in order to have the module back live again, because right now it's almost acting like a bypass when you have this on and you've already done this. You have to cut it back off. And now I'm back to the pedal. Quite naturally, you do have bypass, which I now understand what this true bypass is, but I believe this is actually true bypass. Use that as a performance tool as well, like a stab in. We're gonna do this one next. This right here, nasty. And this is the one that I probably would have slept on and said, ah. Yo, this is the Demora by Roland. Roland? Yes, Roland. The Roland Scooper. Just a little review. Man, listen, this coming. Let me just cut all this other stuff off. The sound of the Demora by itself, again, when you have that width all the way cut up, that feedback is giving you some resonance as well. A little ring mod going on. Dry wet level, change the tone of that feedback a little bit. What? Drop it down. Bring it up. What? Storytelling. 16 bars right here. I done had better days. Not today. Yeah, so I mean, just the width alone, without even dealing with the feedback, the Demora adds some girth to the sound. So I'm really feeling it for that. Now let me just break this down because I initially my thought was this: the Scooper is the without knowing shit from shit, I was like, yo, the Scooper is the one I gotta have. The Scooper and the Demora. That that thing it does when you hold it and you turn it over and it sounds like it's about to make the speakers explode. I just felt like this was the two that I gotta have. The other two I was like, I mean, I really wrote that bit raiser off. Like, man, that's that's gimmicky. This old bit crushing thing. I'm like, whatever. I wasn't really tripping off that. And the same thing with the Torcido. I'm looking at it like, okay, now that I have them and have been using them for several hours now, let's just say, it is safe to say that the Demora is probably the least, it offers, I would say, the least matrix of possibilities, if that makes sense. Like the whole speaker thing exploding gets gimmicky real quick. Like you can't just, I mean, if I do that a couple times in one beat and then I'm gonna go to the next track and do it again and then do it again. I mean, so it kind of gets played out. I feel like it was something that initially I thought was dope and now it's kind of turning into like more of a gimmick per se. Like, it's straight. I like it still, but like I said, once you do it a couple times. So for me, that's why you saw me, I was trying to show you different ways you can perform with it. And I'm just doing a drum pattern. So if you're doing it with the drone sound or a synth sound, it's gonna give you a different outtake. But so the thing now that I have them, I would say Scooper is still my favorite, but I like all four together. I wouldn't want to not have any one of them. But the bit raiser, the one that I would initially wrote off, is the one that I really want to bring light to because I think it is dope. It has the filters, and once I look back at it, because at the time I didn't really know who I was. I didn't know I was gonna be this guy who just loves filters. Like, I love filters, and this whole filter business, the resonance. Look, filter resonance, and it has a sample rate plus a bit crusher. And it has, I didn't even show this yet, but I don't even know why I'm talking about it, but it has a low pass, high pass filter. Yeah, this is the one. And right now, so check this out. This is the hardest one to find for the resale price. When they first came out, they was $300. Me personally, I'm not spending that kind of money on neither one of these. But at 150, 170, 160, I think I ended up paying $190 for this one, but this is the one that's hard. You will find this hard to find for resale. The bit raiser, they giving these away all day long. $150. They got these by the boatload. So people ain't really feeling them. But I say, if you don't have one, these two you got to run out and get, the Bit Razor and the Torcido. If you can't afford the analog heat, not a problem. The analog heat is good. It's a step up to professionalism, or to being, what the high-end professionals have. It's still low end for the professionals, but it's a step towards that direction. But I wouldn't even trip off that, because this Torcido offers a great tool for sound sculpting, and it adds a great amount of oomph to it. No analog heat, however, this is a big ass difference. You're talking about 150 versus 700, so that's huge difference. Like all of these pedals was less than the analog heat, and if I had to choose, I would definitely go with this versus that one. Just having it all just makes it that much better, and gives me a bigger tool set to have, to sculpt sounds with. But at the end of the day, if I had to choose, and if I had to tell you which one to get, I would say, get this versus that. You're going to have way more fun with these 4 pedals than that one analog heat. But that's kind of sidetracking. This is, really about the Demora, but you know how I do, JohnG Tangents. But yeah, so the 4 of these pedals are together. I love this setup, actually. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I kind of like to go with the Darth something, Vader Darth something. It's a blackout here. You see it, and it's fit together so perfect. These 4 pedals go perfectly together with the heat and the Digitac. So somebody said you got to build a case for it. Yeah, I do. And I know I can. I just need to get the tools for it and try to build and design it. But ideally, the one company that had, I forgot what company it is, but they got a case for these 2 together. But something with their PayPal is down, and they want you to go direct to them, and I wasn't feeling that. I'll do PayPal, but whatever. And they was charging $50 for a stand that'll give this a 70, I think a 45-degree angle. So I felt like, how it looked, like that would be dope to have these 2 on that pedal, and then I'll somehow figure out how to get this. But eventually, I may go down that line. I may go down the line of manufacturing cases. I could see myself doing that as well. So I may end up doing something like that. But first, I would have to start off with myself and figure out cases for all the shit that I got already. But a case for this setup right here, this setup is really dope. I'm feeling it. This will be the start of my modular rig. I've already pretty much got some skin in the game now. All I got to do is buy the rack, and I already have modules to go. So I'm pretty much, that's why I love these. So if you want to go modular, another reason to kind of start collecting your pedals, man. Look, is one, get this second hand. I wouldn't spend no more than $200 on none of these. You find it second hand for $150, and you get it as you can get it, and then you build your collection. And just know that right now, today, you don't have your modular rig, quote unquote, but this is a start. So then after you get this, you can have fun with it today, because other people that get into modular, they spend money on non-musical stuff, the case and all of that, and the power, before they can even start having fun. With this route, you can go with having something that you can have fun with today, and then when you're ready to, you can squeeze in the case and squeeze in the power. And as you start to understand and as it kind of unfolds as to what you want to do and the kind of case you want to build. I'm thinking off the break, I don't want nothing no bigger than these 4 pedals. I'm thinking like that lunch pail or a boombox style modular rig that I can hold in my hand like a briefcase. That's pretty much where I'm headed. I want something like that, small. I do not want to go down the road of the guy standing there and just losing his life, just patching, you just lose life. I don't want to do that. I feel like it's coming, but I really want to stick to this right here, right now. Nice, small, tidy ways. I'd rather keep it that way. So, yeah. So this is by, I haven't really given it a name, but it's definitely a blackout. I love the look of this setup. It's so beautiful. This is the Demora, and of course John G ranting on about nibbles and nabbles and this and that ain't got shit to do with shit. But hey, it is what it is. The Demora, we went over the time, the feedback, the width, the dry and wet. You know what? Honestly, I don't know what the hell these levels do. I keep playing with them. I don't hear nothing. I have a feeling that once you hook it up to the modular part, that's when they'll come into play. Because right now it ain't doing jack nothing. All right. But I feel like that's what happened there. So again, we'll call this an overview because it would be bogus for me to call this. It's definitely not a full review because I ain't showed you no modular, and there's a software side, people. Another reason that I will sell you on this. I'm always thinking future proof. All right, I might not learn this today, but I know that it's there, and I know it's something that I will eventually, put it like this. Even if I don't put my foot down and put the steps forward to actually learning it, I do know that it's there. So I'm always thinking future proof, and I've always been thinking this from the very first piece of gear that I got. The very first piece of gear that I got, I've always thought about the future, in that at that time it was just about USB, connecting it to a computer. I knew that was going to be important. And here it is, damn near 20 years later, it's a fact that USB is just, it is what it is. I wish everybody would go towards USB audio. I feel like 2017, everything that's built should be having, if Roland can put it in Roland damn near got audio cards and all of their stuff. It's in the VT3, it's in all the area lines. It should be in here. However, when I tried to hook up the scooper, I have not tried the other ones yet. When I tried the scooper, live did not see it right away. So then right away I went, because especially with PCs, you got to figure out what drivers they may need. And the day that I looked, I didn't have any success, and that kind of ended. I haven't followed up on that. So I have not gotten the audio interface to work, but these are supposed to be all audio interfaces as well. So keep that in mind. Another reason, look, for this price, man, all of these is worth the resale or the sale price, basically. Not the original price. I'm not really feeling that. But for $150, dude, yes. John G says yes. He's a 2 thumbs up. It has a matrix. It has a software side that then makes this completely modular, because then on the software side you can have a complete modular rig that you can build, so you can turn this into whatever you want it to be. So another reason why, if you were into that, if you're a programmer, these are no-brainers, man, especially right now while they're on sale. Yes, either one of these, go out and get it. The scooper, dope. Bit Razor, dope. Torcido, I would say that's a alternative to the analog heat of sorts. And then the Demora. I can't say nothing bad about none of these. But to complete or to wrap up my ranting, I'm going to conclude with the Demora. The dry wet, the width, the time, the feedback, the modular side. Like I was saying before I went off on a third tangent, this is not a full review, but an overview. And we just kind of went over my thoughts on it and whatnot. This is how I feel about the Demora. Take it for what it is. Next, we're going to get on this Bit Razor. I'm going to go over that. And then after that, we're going to get on this Torcido. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. This is JohnG TV. Fade to black.